Hey, let's start chapter 11 of Fablehaven. After I play a quick song, though. Okay, here we go. Chapter 11, The Aftermath. Kendra knew it would be bad the moment she opened the door. Ragged gouges furrowed the walls of the stairwell, crude pictograms defaced the far side of the door, along with an abundance of less orderly nicks and scratches. Near the base of the stairs, a crusty brown substance was smeared on the wall. "I'm grabbing some salt," Seth said. He returned to the ring around the bed and filled the hands and pockets with the salt that had scorched the intruder the night before. When Seth rejoined her, Kendra started down the stairs. The steps creaked loudly in the quiet house. The hall at the bottom was worse than the stairway. Again, the walls had been savagely raked by claws. The bathroom door was off its hinges and had 3 splintery holes of different sizes. Patches of carpeting were burned and stained. Kendra moved down the hall, appalled by the aftermath of the violent night. A smashed mirror, a broken light fixture, a table reduced to kindling, and at the end of the hall, a gaping rectangle instead of a window. "Looks like they let others in," Kendra said, pointing down the hall. Seth was examining singed hairs and a damp stain on the floor. "Grandpa," he yelled. "Anybody?" The silence was an ominous answer. Kendra descended the stairs to the entry hall. Sections of the banister were gone. The front doors hung askew, an arrow protruding from the frame. Primitive drawings marred the walls, some scored, others scrawled. In a trance, Kendra roamed the lower rooms of the house. The place had been gutted. Almost all the windows were destroyed. Battered doors lay far from their frames. Mutilated furniture bled stuffing onto mangled carpeting. Shredded drapes dangled in tattered ribbons. Chandeliers lay in shattered ruins. Half of one charred sofa was entirely missing. Kendra wandered to the back porch. Wind chimes lay in tangles. The furniture was scattered around the garden. A broken rocking chair balanced atop a fountain. A wicker love seat protruded from a hedge. Back in the house, Kendra found Seth in Grandpa's office. It looked as if an anvil had fallen on his desk. Pulverized memorabilia littered the floor. "Everything's trash," Seth said. "It looks like a demolition team came through here with sledgehammers or hand grenades," Seth indicated, where tar appeared to have been slopped against the wall. "Is that blood? It looks too dark to be human." Seth picked his way around the splintered desk to the empty window. "Maybe they got out. I hope so." "Out on the garden," Seth said. Is that a person?" Kendra approached the window. "Dale?" she shouted. The prone figure did not move. "Come on," Seth said, hurrying through the wreckage. Kendra followed him out of the front door and around to the side of the house. They dashed over to the figure lying supine near an overturned bird bath. "Oh no," Seth said. It was a painted statue of Dale, a fateful replica, except the paint was more simplified than his actual coloring would have been. His head was turned to one side, eyes squinted shut, arms raised protectively. The proportions were exact. He was wearing the same outfit he had worn the previous night. Kendra touched the figure. It was made of metal, clothes and all. Bronze, maybe? Lead? Steel? She rapped her knuckles against the forearm. Sound solid, no hollow ringing. "They turned him into a statue," Seth said. "You think it's really him?" "It has to be. Help me flip him over." Both of them strained, but Dale did not budge. She was way too heavy. "I really blew it," Seth said, palms pressed against his temples. "What have I done?" "Maybe we can change him back." Seth kneeled down and put his mouth onto Dale's ear. "If you can hear me, give us a sign," he yelled. The metallic figure made no sign. "Do you think Grandpa and Lena are around here too?" Kendra asked. "We'll have to look." Kendra cupped her hands around her mouth. Grandpa Sorensen, Lena, can you hear me?" "Look at this," Seth said, crouching beside the overturned bird bath. The bird bath had tipped over toward a flower bed. In the flower bed was a clear footprint, 3 large toes and a narrow heel. The print was big enough to suggest that it came from a creature at least the size of a grown man. Giant bird? Check out the hole behind the heel. He stuck a finger into the nickel-sized hole, a couple of inches deep. Weird. Seth acted excited. It has a pointy thing on the back of its heel, a spur or something, which means what? We can probably track it. Track it? Seth moved forward in the direction the toes pointed, scanning the ground. See? He crouched, pointing at a hole in the ground. The spur digs deep. It should leave a clear trail. And what happens if you catch up with whatever made the tracks? He patted his pockets. I'll throw some salt and rescue Grandpa. How do you know it took Grandpa? I don't, he admitted, but it's a start. What if it turns you into a painted statue? I won't look directly at it, just in mirrors. Where'd you get that from? History. You don't even know what you're talking about, Kendra said. We'll see about that. I better get my camo shirt. First, let's make sure there aren't any other statues in the yard. Fine, then I'm out of here. I don't want the trail getting cold. After scouring the yard for half an hour, Kendra and Seth had come across various articles of furniture from the house or porch in unexpected locations, but they had found no other life-size painted statues. They ended up by the swimming pool. Have you noticed the butterflies? Kendra asked. Yeah, anything special about them? Seth slapped his forehead with the heel of his hand. We haven't had milk today. Yep, no fairies, just bugs. If those fairies are smart, they won't show their face around here, growled Seth. Yeah, you'll show them then. What do you want to be this time, a giraffe? None of this would have happened if they would have kept guarding the window. You did torture one of them, Kendra pointed out. They tortured me back. We're even. Whatever we do, we should drink some milk first. They went into the house. The refrigerator was lying on its side. Together they pried the door open. Some of the milk bottles had broken, but a few were intact. Kendra grabbed one, uncapped it, and took a sip. Seth drank next. I need my stuff, he said, bolting for the stairs. Kendra started searching for clues. Wouldn't Grandpa have tried to leave them a message? Maybe there hadn't been time. She walked through the doors, but encountered no hints to explain the fate of either Lena or Grandpa. Seth showed up in his camouflage shirt, carrying the cereal box. I was trying to find that shotgun. You haven't seen it. Nope, that's an arrow by the front door. You could toss that at the monster. I think I'll stick with salt. We never checked the basement, Kendra said. It's worth a try. Okay, we'll read more tomorrow, and we'll see if they can find Grandpa.